Miss Jax, I'll ask you again. Isn't it true that your sister-in-law's only desire is to be a good mother to her children?
Honestly, I don't know. Unfortunately, we aren't close, so she never explained anything to me. Although I do recall one thing she said last night at the nurses' ball.
And what was that?
Well, we ran into each other in the ladies' room, and she told me that nothing was more important to her than being with Drew.
You are taking what I said completely out of context. Tell him the rest.
Mrs. Corinthos, sit down, and please refrain from any further outbursts.
Miss Jax, was there anything more with your conversation with Mrs. Corinthos?
You see, it's a little bit fuzzy after that because things escalated. Drew actually barged into the ladies' restroom and threatened me. He told me to stay away from Willow and that Michael would lose his kids.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Miller, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call to the stand Michael Corinthos III. Mr. Corinthos, did you love your wife?
Yes.
I only ask because you not only married Willow Tate and made her your wife, but you also made her the adoptive mother to your biological son, Wiley.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, that's kind of a big deal. You must have held her in the highest esteem.
I did.
And do those feelings continue today?
When I married Willow, I was very much in love. Looking back, I think that love may have blinded me to certain red flags about my wife.
What kind of red flags?
Willow grew up in a cult called Dawn of Day. And though she seemed unaffected, I have come to believe that she suffered more from that upbringing than I initially realized.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. Mr. Corinthos is not a psychologist.
Mr. Corinthos may not be a psychologist, but he has direct insight into his wife's character.
I'll allow it.
You mentioned that you think that Willow was more deeply affected by her upbringing than you initially realized. Could you elaborate on that?
She was taught not to think for herself, but rather to bend to the will of others. And that's exactly what she did with her cult leader, Shiloh. And it's what she's doing now with my Uncle Drew. And she is willing to do whatever he wants, even if it's at the detriment of our children.
Can you give us some examples of that?
Willow was once diagnosed with stage 4 leukemia while she was pregnant with our daughter, Amelia. But she didn't tell me until many months later.
Why on earth would she have kept that a secret?
She had a lot of excuses. But what it comes down to is she is simply a very damaged person. And again, it's understandable. Now, she's dealt with a lot of emotional upheaval in her life. Anyone would have issues from that. But unless and until those issues are resolved, I do not believe Willow is capable of providing a safe and stable home for our children.